What font is that?
That is Street Fighter 4 font.
Okay. Is that what it's called?
No. It is
Okay.
a free version that looks an awful lot like the Street Fighter 4 font. But, you know, it's called, like, SSF font, you know. Who knows what that stands for? I don't know what it stands for. It could stand for anything, right?
You're right. It could.
Salvate, this is Jeff.
This is David.
We are playing Asura's Wrath. Last time, Asura was falling through the sky like a meteor.
On fire.
Uh-huh. And
he's in some sort of weird Hindu version of Ash Lake, it appears.
Yeah, exactly. He's kind of in Hindu, not hell, but almost
Purgatory?
there. Yeah, kind of like, it's more like the road to it. Wait, new character. Who is this?
Where am I?
Well, this is Naraka. But I won't bother explaining because I doubt
Who
you
could it
would
be?
understand. So for now, let's just say you are having a bad dream.
Who are you?
Who
Good
indeed?
question. Not the right one.
Did you say a
right
giant
question
golden
would be-
spider?
I didn't. I didn't.
Start climbing then.
Basically your Navi equivalent, except, you know, it's a golden spider.
However, I would
And it's
be
always
careful. I
coming
trust
in
I
from the
would
top
tell
of the
you
screen.
what would happen
Doesn't matter where you are.
fall.
That is significantly better than Navi in every way.
Up you go.
Well, I mean, you gotta have
Yes,
your,
There is a reason why you must continue to climb, isn't there? You may have forgotten why, but the flame inside you still burns. That's it. Keep going, Asura.
Asura!
But this episode will be our
These are our enemies.
tutorial.
The impure Goma.
As Asura is dead and climbing out of hell, we will remember how to fight. He
Okay.
See what you make of them.
took a hit to the head, so
Right.
I do like his casual training attire. It's quite nice.
He doesn't have quite the Jack's arms.
Yeah, exactly. This is as and he's pretty mild, all things considered.
Yeah. I like how you're fighting weird skinless gorillas.
Yeah, the weird skinless gorilla things, exactly.
So we're playing Parasite Eve now.
A little bit. So
Maybe a little less freaky.
yeah, there's not quite the same body horror mitochondrial explosion of flesh
Which
that
still,
I usually associate with the game.
that
It's like, if I remember only one thing from Parasite Eve, and that's
It is that
an
first
opera,
cutscene.
and yes.
that rat changing. The rat was just like, oh my, The LP of that in the archive is actually pretty good. I recommend it.
Okay.
Because I couldn't make it through the game because I'm a puss.
Yeah, I have vague memories of Parasite Eve 2, I think. Of
That's
just
a
being
thing?
being over at a friend's house, and this is like in middle school, maybe? Like
I
a
don't
really,
even.
really long time ago.
Yeah.
And it was at the last boss, so it was the last boss fight, and our mom had come over, you know, to pick us up, to take us home.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where you're like, no, just 5 more minutes. Look, it's the last boss. Come on. And then, like, you know, trying to be like, hey, mom, you know, maybe you want to talk to his mom, just catch up. Y'all catch up. We'll
continue
slowly
beating.
get our things together while looking at the screen. That was our friend that had the PlayStation, because he did not have a PlayStation at the time. So
Right.
There was also that novelty.
Right.
I think that's how I first played Final Fantasy 7 was that way too. So
Right.
good times.
Didn't y'all eventually have that on PC?
Yeah, we actually got the PC version of Final Fantasy 7 and 8 because we never had a PlayStation. We did eventually get one after the PS2 came out, when they were, you know,
The same
you could
thing?
just get you could just get PS. Well, actually, yeah, you could just get PS1 games and play them. So
Yeah. Have we
got our,
missed
you know-
anything important on this tutorial?
nah.
Okay.
This is just the easiest way to get through it, the tutorial fast, is to just do what it says. This one in particular, it requires you to get hit and then do a counter by pressing or a recovery,
Right.
and then you can evade. So you got all your basic attacks. You can just mash B and you'll do basic combos. Y is the strong attack that's on a cooldown, and the cooldown is the little circle around the red in the middle.
I do like how we got to see that gorilla obviously bounce off an invisible wall into another invisible wall.
Hey, you know. If you hold down the B button, you can do a launcher, you can do air combos. If you hold down the B button in the air, you can do a diving attack. You also have a few other things we'll see in a second here. So this is like a surprisingly gameplay-heavy episode.
Yeah.
All things considered, especially after the last one.
Yeah, and the one before that.
Mm-hmm.
Does that say disarm? Oh, perform a counter. Got it.
Yeah, this is a counter. So enemy counters are, you can tell because they will glow white before their attack. That means that it's a counterable attack.
Especially if they're evil.
Blood mantas.
That's it! Try focusing on another target! That's it!
That's it!
That's it. That's that. I think he's broken. That. You just have to. There we go.
Esta.
Oh no, I switched the region on this guy. How do we get it back to? Like I don't know what. That's English. There we go. All right.
English.
That's it. That's it.
I think I just said this I don't know. 4 years of Spanish, maybe not worth it.
We'll just say that it was a sort of an English or
there you go.
Spanglish.
Spanglish, yes.
Spanglish translation. So Asura also has his rapid fire attacks, which we did see in the first episode.
Right.
You can use them on the ground too. It's not just exclusive to space battles when fighting the planet Earth.
Right.
So not necessarily the only time you can use those.
So are you tapping X to do this, or
no,
does it just
holding down? So holding down is rapid fire. If you tap X, you'll do a burst, which is kind of a shotgun, like a shotgun.
Okay.
I've not really found many good uses for that, but on the ground combat, which is what we're currently doing, I don't think you can't do the painted target lock.
Right. Okay. So you can't res this,
that.
but
yeah, it's not all resed up, or any number of other things that do that. Sin and Punishment comes to mind.
I don't know if I've played that one.
It's a treasure side-scrolling game on the N64, and then a sequel on the Wii. It's more like Panzer Dragoon in that it's behind the back. So I guess Panzer Dragoon might be another example.
Okay.
Finger acting.
That is a crazy well animated finger. All right, now we're literally playing Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah, we've got a health bar finally, but it's still teaching us about the modes. So in this case, we're charging up the unlimited gauge. The unlimited gauge is the spikes of energy below the middle that are filling up, and it's naturally like a double trigger. So once it fills up, you activate it, and then it has a temporary effect, and it just means you don't have cooldown for strong attacks while using it. Plus, you're a little bit faster, a little bit stronger, etc.,
right.
as you might expect from these types of things.
Yep.
Also, when you activate it, much like, say, in Devil May Cry 4, much like Nero's Devil Trigger, you have a burst which interrupts attacks and makes you invincible briefly. Unlike Devil May Cry 4's version of Dante, whose Devil Trigger activation does not have a burst or invincibility frames. Anyways.
Not that this is a sore point.
No, not a sore point at all. It's just one of the many reasons why Nero is a lot easier to play. If you have good timing, you can double trigger your way through otherwise bad attacks that would end up killing you.
Right. So now you've got your burst. Oh, hi! It's on fire.
There's the burst. Yes. So that yellow gauge is your burst meter, which, as discussed earlier, is the cutscene button. So you do not defeat your enemies so much as you get angry to a point where you can burst the crap out of them. That's just the sort of gameplay flow.
All right, it's like Thrill Kill. Got it.
Ha 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 ha. You can actually skip the tutorial if you're doing a replay of the mission, which is not good if you want to have a high score, because you do get a lot of points for fighting the fights here.
Right.
I think it might, it might be possible, but I don't know. I'm gonna say almost impossible to get enough like battle points without doing the tutorial.
Yes.
I'd like to point out, I just realized this. He was like sleeping, hanging by one arm at the beginning of
just
this.
kind of. Yeah, I mean, his arms, they know. It's like they know.
They still have things to punch.
I like that he looks kind of like a corgi in that. I just like imagine just Asura corgi with his incredulous look. Like, is this giant golden spider talking to me? Am I in hell?
All right, let's talk about anime.
All right, this episode of Asura's Wrath is brought to you by Spice and Wolf.
Okay.
I'm gonna talk about Spice and Wolf now.
You can talk about Spice and Wolf now.
Spice and Wolf is an anime.
Okay.
That is great, and you should watch it. It's on Netflix. It's on Crunchyroll. A lot of things are on Crunchyroll.
All right, well, that's all I need to know. Good. I'll see everybody. No.
There you go. All right. And thanks for tuning in. Now back to the show.
No.
Spice and Wolf is good because at least personally, I found it very inspirational because I learned something about myself and about the nature of storytelling. Is that action, which is something that, in the abstract sense, something that you want to have in a story, right?
Right.
Drama, I mean, we'll say dramatic situations. But, there's action in the case of, like action sequences, explosions and guns and stabbing and whatnot. And that stuff's great.
The kind I like, yes.
Your action movie, classic action. And then you have your, and then you have things that are sort of dramatic situations. And,
Right.
you have your sort of Oscar-winning pictures and stuff,
Driving
So
Miss Daisy and the like.
Yeah. So that stuff is, it's a form. It's not action the same as the visceral action, but it's intellectually interesting sort of dialogue and reversals, and you can have the same kind of drama and the same beats that make up a good song or good action sequence or good movie are all pretty much the same, because you have your your pacing, your ebb and flow. You have the
Right.
You in using the musical analogy, you have your your slower parts, your faster parts. You have your breaks where nothing happens, and you have your builds and drops in the case of like electronic music nowadays. But I mean,
Well, you have your rising action,
forever,
your climax, your falling action.
So
yeah.
it's similar with standard. So Spice and Wolf is good because it taught me that an action, like a fascinating action scene, can be a main character explaining to you medieval economics.
This village is not the same as it used to be. Oh, those are Trini silver coins. I haven't seen them in this area before.
Yes, I know. We are bidding a farewell to the old rusty loot silver coins.
The main character's superpower, because there's not really superpowers, there's the supernatural element, because one of the main characters is the wolf of Spice and Wolf, which is a Spice being the spice merchant is the guy, and then Wolf is a wolf girl manifestation of a sort of like harvest deity that is no longer believed in.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the supernatural element. So you have your fish out of water kind of story where she's basically like a deity, but has been long forgotten and is not as up to speed with human matters. So there's obviously some comedy you can get out of that, but it's a totally about medieval economics. Like, the guy is a merchant, and he's not like a merchant that's secretly an assassin. It's
Right.
like, no, his job is merchanting.
He is merchantry. He is into merchantry.
And he merchants well. It's like I just remember a scene in particular where he's explaining like the different types of currencies. like how because of the different kingdoms and there's not standardized currency, like the different exchange values for like these 7 different types of coins. And you know, you will have dramatic conspiratorial plots about, you know, flooding the markets with certain kinds of currency to devalue others. And I was like got my popcorn out and just like continue calm. That is my recommendation. It has 2 seasons, and it also has a very good the relationship between the main character and the sort of wolf girl is also really good. It is what I would call cute.
Okay.
And it develops well. It doesn't have the usual sort of young anime protagonist curse of like just constant either obliviousness or like inexperience,
Right.
and you know, just like frustrating kind of immaturity. It's a little bit more interesting the way that their relationship builds, which I appreciated, especially since, you know, a lot of times anime is just, you know, high school or middle school age kids, and you know, that's it, the end.
Right.
And it'll be like, you know, like, oh, he like accidentally brushed me. You know. So
And that's the male characters.
Yeah.
I'll leave
it's a
now.
little bit more well developed and satisfying than that. I did mention this as a caveat earlier. There's a little bit of forced drama in the second season, especially. It gets resolved in a good way, but that's more of a, like I said, it's a disappointment with the high quality of the writing up to that point, that there would be kind of a sort of like forced drama in the case of like, well, I don't think that they would, you know, it's one of those things where the characters would, you know, like
the way they would act based on how they've acted
like,
before.
Yeah, like the idiot ball, I guess, is the TV
Yeah.
trope, where they act in a specific way in order to create a dramatic situation that is forced and unearned. Where
it makes no
whereas
sense.
it would have made more sense for the characters to just, you know, like talk it out, which is something that almost never happens in, you know, like
Right.
media, and that's very frustrating. 'Cause
Like,
I
you
wanna
know,
say-
Metal Gear Solid.
yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, if we had just said like 1 or 2 words to each other at any point in like the last 7 years, this all would have resolved fine. It just depends on the situation. So it has those things that I like. A lot of those things I like. The relationship is good. The plot is interesting. Like, I didn't know that I wanted to watch an anime about medieval economics, but I totally did. Totally did, and I'm
Well, there
glad
you
I
go.
did. Yeah. And then it also is a good it's a good ending too. You know, that helps too.
Oh, wow. It has an ending, and it's good.
Yeah,
Oh.
it does have a good ending. Now back to Asura's Wrath.
Destroy him! Asura the traitor! Destroy him!
More flashbacks. Fortunately, our protagonist's amnesia does not really last that long.
Good.
It's more of an understandable. I have literally died. Trying to try and coalesce the memories a little bit.
Right. Kind of
So
get them
this-
back.
This would be one of the other missing scenes, I think, but
Okay.
I don't think this ends with getting stabbed repeatedly in the back, so the verdict's not in on that one. Whether or not
Right.
it's a missing scene or a half episode or whatever. But anyways, we can actually die here, I guess, because you can take damage.
Right. Well, you do have a health meter, I guess.
Yeah, you totally do have a health meter. So another thing about this game is that the gauges, which is the artistic look of the health bar at the top.
Yeah.
There's different versions of that you can get by unlocking certain achievements / goals in the game.
Okay.
And they have different effects. Like one I think that I have from playing it earlier is the defender gauge, which just increases your defense, and it has like a different art style at the top.
Okay.
Which is kind of neat. Some of the, I don't know if we won't be getting all of those. I'm pretty sure that some of them are like, you know, beat the game on hard mode with all S rankings and like
In an
after you
hour.
in an hour, you know, without using the Y button or something, you know, something like that.
Right.
I'm gonna do a no burst playthrough. It didn't work. Sad. Ho home. These guys keep shooting me. These little flying guys. It's very annoying.
Yeah.
I kind of want to just stand and shoot them down, but it's a little hard to aim that.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where the shotgun works a little better.
It might. Yeah. It might. Just tapping X might actually work better in this case.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, burst. Tunk, tunk.
And now we're playing.
Strano has been killed.
Oh, what is that game? It's the one that's really, really pretty but not fun.
I know what you're talking about. Yes, designer jeans, and he talks to God on a cell phone. Oh, and it'll come back to me. It also looks a little bit like Mad World.
It does, yeah. I was thinking of a game that
Yeah.
I was thinking of a game that I enjoyed a little.
You play as fashionable Enoch. Hold on, it's got to come back to me because I know exactly what you're talking about.
The traitor Asura has been defeated.
Not Metatron. Metatron is an icosahedral solid, but
It's also an Archangel.
Yeah.
Apocryphal Archangel.
Deus said he would save the world.
It's
Are you satisfied
Elohim? No.
Not Elohim. You're on the El Shaddai.
El Shaddai. Yes, it was one of the names of God. I got there eventually. Ascension of the Metatron. Yes. El Shaddai, Ascension of the Metatron. Metatron was totally in there, okay?
You're right.
Have I angered you? Not me.
They're crying.
Crying? In Naraka? There is nothing to hear but the sound of my voice.
Angry climbing.
Alright, so the spider... I like the spider. I really like the spider. Also,
Spider's just
he
trying
is
to
trucking.
prod his memory. Yeah. So he has not quite remembered his daughter yet.
Right. He just
but
knows somebody's crying.
Yes, he is tormented by her cries. So there's at least that.
Is this Earth?
Well, yes, it's Gaea is the name of the planet, but
Earth.
basically yes, Earth.
Well, it's Earth.
Earth.
Yeah. Fantasy Earth in my head is always Earth.
Always Earth.
You know, welcome to Earth.
You know, he actually enunciates it correctly.
I know he does. I'm aware of that. It's just
there was some disappointment. It was contentious and then disappointment when we were watching on Independence Day, as you do in America. Watch
Right.
Independence Day.
yes.
I was like, he just says it normally. He's like, no, he doesn't. And then get to the part, and they're like, oh, he does.
He goes, "Welcome to Earth." Yeah, and you're like, "Oh, there's no pho
But
there."
that's
It's a
nothing
pho.
to a demigod like yourself, now is it?
He's got nightlights on his face.
He punched his way out of death,
Is this how you save the world?
and 12,000 years later, everything kind of, well, as he says right here,
This place looks like hell.
indeed.
Accurate.
Someone's got to pay for this, David.
And it's
Next
Gonna-
time we'll get on that.
going to be everyone who's still alive. You're just going to murder them all.
They all must die. He's gonna have his Straw Dogs moment.
Here you go. I don't know what that's a reference to.
The movie Straw Dogs.
Sure.
Dustin Hoffman.
Okay.
It is a drama about a guy moving to I think it was an American moving to like an English countryside town. I have not actually seen the movie, but I just kind of know the reference. It's famous for its ending and its tagline, which is "Every man has a breaking point." So basically, an unassuming guy and his wife is raped, and there's there's basically an assault on his house, and he kills them all.
Oh wow.
So, it's self-defense, but it's one of those. It's not an action movie. I put it that way. It is not anywhere near an action movie. So,
this is I like the art here. It makes him look even more robotic.
Is robotesque. So in the intermission here, which I will do a quick summary of, it's basically Asura wandering the hellscape that has become Gaea, with the Golden Spider constantly asking him about himself, his past, poking him, because obviously the Golden Spider knows what's up. But he says that this is what became of the former world, and this was not done by the Goma, so this is all the responsibility of the deities.
Right.
So, and their power play or whatever. I'm pretty sure that the destruction of the world was what was blamed on Asura. We saw that in the last intermission. Like the scorching fires that destroyed everything was, at least in the propaganda revisionist history that they put forth, was all Asura's fault, but it's more of just their selfish power grab, so... Again, someone's got to pay. Like, all of them.
Everybody who isn't his daughter. Everybody but Mithra, gonna die. Maybe even Mithra. Maybe more than once.
So yeah, Asura doesn't have much to say here aside from shut up. The spider's just like, there's that famous Asura anger, yes. So next time we will meet our first target. And there will be quite an epic showdown. Our first, just as a little preview, I did cut out the actual preview because it's just, here's everything that happens in the next episode.
I noticed.
But we will meet up with Wizen and his hand acting.
And then we will rip his hand off and smack him in the face with it.
And we'll have a civil conversation, and we'll work out our differences.
I'd almost believe you. I'd almost believe you if it weren't for the title of the game.
Next time on Asura's something that starts with W, like Asura's
well-mannered
well-mannered mediation.
Well-mannered
Asura's sobering intervention. Asura's calm discourse. Asura's respectable forum.
I was going to say Asura's well-mannered diplomacy.
Yes. Asura's amazing and alliterative arbitration.
Well, that's canonical, but yes. Remember, if it starts with a vowel sound, it's assonance. If it starts with a consonant, then it's alliteration.
Okay.
I remember that. That's one of the few things I remember from English class. Assonance.
I think alliteration is same. I thought it was same letter, and assonance was same sound, so it could be a different letter with the same phoneme attached to it.
I think you're wrong, but knowing my track record, I maybe just sounded like a big idiot to everyone on the internet.
Assonance is also called a vowel rhyme. Okay. Or prosody. Okay, that's nice. Rhyme in which the same vowel sounds are used to different consonants and stress syllables of the rhyming words, as in pertinent reticence.
Wow, so I was just wrong?
Resemblance of sounds. Alliteration. What do we got here? Alliteration.
Are we going to Wikipedia?
No, I'm at dictionary.com. I'm literally here every day.
All right, fine.
You got to see the new word of the day.
I don't.
I've been disappointed by the words of the day recently. Okay?
Oh, really? Has it been stuff like syzygy and stuff like that?
No, it'll be like stuff like the specific article. No, it's not quite that bad. But,
okay, yeah. I was about to say what?
It was just like not necessarily super common words, but like ones that I was like, that doesn't sound like a particularly
It's like exoneration. It's like, if you watch Law and Order, you know that one.
Commencement of two or more stressed syllables of a word group, either with the same consonant sound or sound group, as in consonantal alliteration, or as in from stem to stern, or with a vowel sound that may differ from syllables of the do. I'm sorry, I went into a coma.
So you were right, I was wrong.
Halfway through that, I went into a coma. After reading these definitions, I'm not sure.
After having read the subject matter, you don't know.
I'm a little unclear as to the. Well, here's a fun one. Since we're learning about words that start with A that are different forms of word play.
Right.
Anti-metaboly is when you have a phrase where the object and subject are reversed for dramatic effect. Like the famous JFK quote, "Ask not what you can do for your country, but what your country can do for you."
Oh, okay.
Or you, I guess that object, indirect object, and then you can do country. Yeah, so subject object gets reversed. And talk about the money thing. You ass.
Well, if you're enjoying this banter between Jeff and I, because God knows the video ended like 7-8 minutes ago.
As it do.
We have oh God. All right, hold on.
Okay.
This video was brought to you by Patreon.
Indeed it was.
Essentially, a Patreon is just a way for us to do this without having ads and be able to do it a little bit more regularly, and in such a way as it's, fun for everybody at all times. This Let's Play was the no one will ever pay for this.
Surely no one will pay that much money goal. And then someone did.
Someone did.
And we're like, well, that's awesome.
Yep. And that happened. But if you don't want to give that much, that's fine. You can give us a buck a month. That's still great. That's a buck a month more than we had.
Mm-hmm. And these are monthly pledges so that we can get a reliable source of income. So,
exactly.
So we can appeal to sort of the niche, the people that actually like what we do, and hopefully do it, full time eventually. Not there
eventually.
Yet, but that's a goal.
It's a goal. It's just to be able to, play games and talk about Wikipedia entries and
read dictionary.com, talk about anime, make fun of David and his made up words that aren't real words, that are fake words that he made up. Whatever. That's
more your mother, honestly.
That's true. Mom does that a lot too.
I just butcher words. I know what I mean.
Yeah, you're the one that does it in in the recorded format, so that there's there's proof.
I don't know. Deceivious is still one of the good ones.
Yeah, that's a good one. Should have name a character Deceivious. It'd be like the totally trustworthy guy who's definitely on your side.
And then he actually is through the entire game.
You're like, well, I wasn't expecting that. It was the loyalist that was the one that betrayed us. Oh, man.
His name is like Lucifer Deceivious. Is like, don't know about this guy.